Hello, everyone. Welcome to Therapeutic Yoga class today. Today, we are going to be focusing on pelvic pain. So who is this class really good for? Well, anybody who maybe has a painful menses, if you've had any sort of endometriosis, maybe you've had a hysterectomy and you've got some hysterectomy scars down there. Maybe you've had a cesarean section and you've got some cesarean section scars down there. Maybe you're a male and you've got prostatitis or you've had some sort of prostate surgery. And finally, and we cannot forget this one, maybe you've just had some bladder issues. So all of that in one, we're going to be doing some nice gentle yoga to help alleviate pain within the pelvic region. So what you're going to need for class today is pretty simple, a yoga mat and a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, just a couple cushions or two will work just fine. Once you have that, position your bolster on your yoga mat like I have it, and then allow yourself to go into a supported child's pose. So what I'd like you to do with your child's pose today is take your knees and bring your knees to the very end of your bolster first. Once you've got yourself in that position, today, just let your knees or your feet fall in a little tiny bit. So let us play into a little bit of tightness in our hips today. There's a reason you've got pelvic pain, and that's probably one of them. So let your feet kind of fall inward towards one another a little tiny bit. And then once you've done that, kind of place your hands on your bolster, sit back into your heels as much as you can with your sit bones, and then just kind of slowly let yourself fall down onto your bolster. So as you're slowly falling down on your bolster, you got lots of options for your hands. You can kind of cross your arms, rest your forehead onto your arms. You can reach your arms up onto the bolster to get a nice stretch to the upper half of the body if you want. Or you can drop your arms down on the sides of the bolster. And if you're going to do that, I would encourage you just to gently lay your head to the right or gently lay your head to the left. So just kind of think about which one just feels the most comfortable for you today. And then wherever you've chosen to go in this position, what I want you to do is just let your chest rest on the bolster for now. And allow yourself to take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then really slowly exhaling out. Now on this inhale, as you inhale into your belly, just let your belly fall downward towards the thighs. Just let that pelvic floor fully open up. And then on this exhale, just gently relax everything as slowly the air comes out. One more time here, nice deep inhale in. And slowly exhaling out. Excellent. Gently bring yourself up into a hands and knees position. Now, what I would encourage you to do is keep your bolster where it is. We're going to be using it in our next pose. But this is a nice time to kind of get some good alignment here. So hip distance, usually somewhere around the width of that bolster or a little bit narrower. So take your knees and kind of line them up with the edges of the bolster. Look straight back behind you. Shoulder width, usually wider than the bolster. So you can see that you can kind of take your hands wider than your bolster if you're using a bolster today. But take those index fingers, point them forward. Wrists and shoulders all line up. Thumbs spread them into your bolster. Check in once you've got yourself in your position that your hands and your wrists line up underneath your shoulders and your hips line up on top of your knees. Right? Let's go through some nice, good cat-cows here. But I would really encourage you, if you are one of those individuals that I just mentioned, to take the focus to the pelvic movement of our cat-cows today. So as you inhale, let your belly sink, let your tailbone lift. Then, as you exhale, pull the abdomen in and really tuck that tailbone under. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the tailbone. And then as you exhale, pull the abdomen up and in, tuck the tailbone under. You've got it. Let's do that one more time. inhaling and exhaling. Now, from your exhale, start to walk your hands back. Keep your tailbone tucked under nice and wide. Sit yourself back into your heels. Once you've got yourself there, allow yourself to widen your knees to the width of the mat. So nothing changes with your feet, so don't have your toes coming all the way together, but they direct in that direction. Grab your bolster and pull it between the legs. Now this time, take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, let yourself slide on that bolster, but feel the support to your pelvis this time as you're in your child's pose. Again, choosing whatever position for your hands you would like. Once you get yourself there, rest your head down into the bolster or turn your head left or right. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin if you've got your head rested downward. And start to pay attention now to where your abdomen and your pelvis are touching that bolster. Take a slow, deep inhale into your belly here. And then slowly exhaling out. Two more times. As you inhale, feel that pelvic area gently touching that bolster. And then as you exhale, just gently let everything relax. One more time, deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Gently bringing your hands up, allowing them to straddle the bolster. Take the bolster, move it out to the side of you. We're not done with the bolster. But once you've done that, allow yourself to sit into the center of your yoga mat. Bolster can be behind you, beside you, whatever feels comfortable for you. In this position, allow yourself to feel like you're halfway into the center of your yoga mat. Once you get yourself there, let the left leg go up and out towards the left corner of your yoga mat. Gently bring the right leg inward. Now, once you have the right leg inward, we're going to be tackling this right part of our pelvis and creating a little bit of tension and length into it first. So what we need to do is take our pelvis and face the pelvis towards the knee. The way that I like to do that is to encourage length through the left side of the body or left leg as you rotate and take your focus of that pelvis and rib cage towards that right knee. Now, right hand, bring it back behind you. Left hand, take it and slide it to the inside of your left knee area or left inner thigh. You will feel a stretch in your left inner thigh, but that's not what we're focusing on here. We're really focusing in finding a little bit of length and opening up through this right side. All right. Can you allow yourself in this position to sit up nice and tall and look at your shoulders and see that they line up with that left leg? Once you've got yourself there, right arm, take it up into the air. Nice deep inhale, reach the arm up into the air. And as you exhale, side bend over to that left. Now, left arm slides down the left leg. You can go into a bind if you have great flexibility, but it's not about the flexibility today. It's about where you feel the opening. So what I want you to do is make sure that your rib cage still lines up with that left leg armpit too. And as you lengthen through that right arm, feel the length happening through the right low back and pelvis area. All right, take a deep inhale right where you feel that stretch. And then exhaling out. One more time, nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. And then inhale the right arm all the way up. And as you exhale, relax that right arm down. Okay, now take the left leg and just slide it straight forward in front of your pelvis now. Allow the pelvis to line kind of back up with the front of you. Once that left leg is straight in front of you, take that right leg and bring it up and over the left knee. So you're creating contact with your right thigh and your right abdomen here. Left hand, allow it to come up and around the knee, or you can hold the knee if your hip is really tight. Right hand, bring it behind your right buttock area. Now take a nice deep inhale here. Lengthen your spine nice and tall. Then as you exhale, gently pull the knee towards the left chest, the abdomen towards the right thigh. You can gently rotate a bit towards the right, but it's not about a spinal twist. It's about creating that gentle compression into that right pelvic area. Now, maybe lengthen your neck, settle your chin, gaze over that right shoulder. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling out. Slow, deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Gently unrotate your head. Slowly let the thigh come away from the belly, and then take that right leg down and out to the corner of your yoga mat, and then left foot into the right thigh. Now, again, we want to take our rib cage and our pelvis and face it towards the left leg. So the easy way to do that is to lengthen through the right leg as you rotate and get yourself lined up with that left knee. Once you have yourself there, take that right hand to the inside of the right thigh, left hand out to the side of your body. See if you can get chest, shoulders, pelvis, everything nice and perpendicular to that left knee. Then the left hand, inhale it up into the air. Then as you exhale, side bending up and over to the right. Now, again, you will feel tension into your right inner thigh. That's not what today is about. Today is about feeling that gentle opening and tension into that left pelvis, low back type of area. Now, check in that your rib cage is rotated outward. Check in that your armpit is rotated upward. In this position, allow yourself to take that nice deep inhale into that left lower pelvis and back area. And then exhaling out. Nice deep inhale in here. And then exhaling out. Then with that left arm, inhale it up into the air, and as you exhale, slowly drop it down. Right leg, bring it in front of you, and as you bring that right leg in front of you, start to line that pelvis up forward again. Then take that left foot and bring it up and over the right knee. Once you have yourself there, right hand comes up and around that left knee, left hand to the back of your body. Now, we're not doing a rigorous spinal twist here. It's about gently compressing into the left pelvis here. So take a nice deep inhale, lengthen your body nice and tall. Then as you exhale, pull that left knee up towards that right shoulder as you feel that compression between your thigh and your abdomen. And then if you want to, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and gently look up and over that left shoulder. Now that impact point where you feel touching of abdomen and your thigh, take a deep inhale right into that. And then slowly exhaling out. Nice deep inhale into it. And slowly exhaling out. Wonderful. Gently unrotating your body. Placing your left leg so that the knee is falling out to the side, sliding that right leg in so that the knee is falling out to the side. Slowly allowing yourself to feel yourself rolling up nice and tall onto your sit bones, heels towards your pelvis as much as you feel comfortable. And then take your hands and interlace your hands and kind of gently place them underneath your feet. Now, in this position, slowly let your knees fall out to the side as your hips begin to relax, opening up through that pelvic ring right now. In this position, take a nice deep inhale, pull your belly forward. Then as you exhale, bend at those elbows and slowly let yourself bend a little bit forward. Now, keep your back straight. Think about your pelvis area in this position. Creating gentle compression in there. If there was any sort of inflammation, regardless what it is, you're allowing it to kind of be a little bit squished, moving all of the fluid around. Take a deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling out. Nice deep inhale into that belly. And exhaling out. Wonderful. Bringing your body upright. As you do so, right leg stays pretty much where it is. Take your left leg and start to slide the left leg all the way behind you. So going into a modification of pigeon pose here. But we're going to be very specifically trying to focus on the hip rotators that attach to that pelvic floor and the backside of the pelvis. So before you move your pelvis into position, check in that your right knee lines up with the midpoint of your yoga mat. Right foot can be gently off of the yoga mat if you like. Left leg's kind of sliding back behind you. Then allow yourself to take your hands and straddle that right knee. Now, as you inhale, lift your pelvis up into the air. Then as you exhale, try to pull the left hip pointer towards that right heel. You'll feel what you need to feel into that right buttock area. How straight your left leg is completely dependent on how tight your left hip and hip flexors are. So you place your leg in as much of a knee bend as you feel like you need to. Now in this position, think about that right pelvic area. Feel as it's touching that right thigh. Allow yourself here to take a nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. Now listen, maybe you just stay right here. But if you want to go a little bit deeper into that right pelvic region, allow yourself to slowly drop down onto your elbows. Chest and knee start to contact one another. Maybe if you've got even more flexibility into you, you slowly drop your head down towards the yoga mat. Wherever you go to today, your focus is left hip pointer being attracted and pulled towards that right heel. Now take a deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Slow, deep inhale into that belly and exhaling out. And gently start to walk your hands back up until you get up into a straight arm position and then let yourself roll onto your right hip. Okay, so just do a 180-degree turn, slide your left foot into your right foot, and then rotate your body to the left side of your yoga mat. Once you get yourself there, stay on that left hip until you get your left leg alignment. So left knee, line it up in the center of your yoga mat. Left foot can be slightly off the yoga mat. Then start to slide the right leg back. Once the right leg is back, pelvis is still over to the left side. Take your arms and straddle your hands to that left knee. Now, inhale, lift the pelvis up into the air. And then as you exhale, you start to attract that right front of your pelvis, that hip pointer, straight towards that left heel. You'll feel that opening in that special hip rotator that we're trying to get to here. That piriformis muscle can be quite the doozy for some people with pelvic pain. So once you've got yourself here, you already feel that belly compressing against that left thigh. Maybe this is where you stay. And take a nice deep inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. Now, if you've got a lot of inflammation, maybe you feel this is where you need to stay. But if you want to try to progress this particular pose, slowly slide yourself down onto your elbows in this modification of pigeon pose. If that's where you stay, that's where you stay. If you want to gently bring yourself down, crown of the head towards the floor, feel free to do that. But always remember, right hip pointer attracted towards the left heel. Now take a deep inhale into that belly, into that pelvis. And then exhaling out. Slow, deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Gently place the hands under the shoulders and start to walk yourself back up. Once you have your arms straight, roll yourself onto your hip. Now, back to the bolster. So here's what I want you to do. Slide your right leg in. Take your bolster, bring it back onto your yoga mat. Once you bring it back onto your yoga mat, you need the bolster to be somewhere near the center of your mat. Just like if we had a sprained ankle and it was hot and inflamed, we would elevate that ankle, right? Well, if we've got something that's causing inflammation in our pelvis, we're going to spend the rest of our class elevating our pelvis. So we need to get up and onto this bolster. So once you've got yourself somewhere in the midpoint of the yoga mat with your bolster, just hop your hip up onto the bolster. Have yourself to the very edge of the bolster so that you're not going to roll too far to the back. Then allow yourself to lay down left or right side, whichever one you're on right now. And then as you lay down on your side, roll yourself back and then have yourself in a beautiful inversion for your pelvis. Now, I promise you, the more often you do that, the easier it gets, but it's a very, very important position for us to be in, particularly for pelvic pain, low back pain, any sort of issues of the lower half of our pelvis and our low back. But because it creates inversion, meaning it's higher than our heart. And if there's any sort of inflammation there, it's going to begin to reduce that inflammation. I tell my patients this is like the Advil position. If you're an ibuprofen person, if you take inflammation, be careful with that. But if you are, this creates the same type of relief. All right, so in this position, let's start with a wonderful exercise to really get the flow of movement upwards towards our trunk and our heart. And let's do a nice gentle modification of legs up the wall. So take your left hand behind your left knee, your right hand behind your right knee. Straighten your elbows outward and take it to the point that you feel like your legs are actually resting into the palms of your hands. And then once you've done that, with your neck long, your chin settled into your throat, relax your abdomen, let everything kind of run downhill, and then just allow it to pick up its speed a little bit. So as you slowly bring your legs up into the air, don't worry if your ankles are pointed away from you or pointed towards your head. You can do whatever you want with your ankles right now. We're going to be pumping them in a second. Get yourself in a comfortable position that you feel like you've got the weight of your legs in your arms. So if you don't have the weight of your legs in your arms, you're going to start to feel your hip flexors shaking, which is exactly the opposite of what we want to achieve here. I want you to imagine that if there was water up at the very top of your feet, by bringing your legs further away from your heart, you're increasing the speed of how quickly that water drizzles down the leg and into the heart. If there was inflammation in our pelvis right now, we're just speeding up how fast it goes away. All right, now, if you do not have any neural tension, meaning you don't have any pulling in your calf muscle or behind your knee right now, I want you to see if you can use your ankles to start to pump that fluid a little bit faster. So in this position, allow yourself to gently gaze at your feet and then take an inhale and pump your toes towards your head. And then as you exhale, pump them away. Inhaling, exhaling. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And finally, inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. Now start to bring some beautiful compression into that pelvic area. So gently bring your knees into your chest. Feel your thighs touching your abdomen. Gently hold around those shin bones. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly here. And then exhaling out. Slow, deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Keeping the left knee to the chest, gently allow the right foot to fall towards the floor. Once the right foot hits towards the floor, allow yourself to keep the left knee towards your chest. Gently keep it gently in there, compressing into the left side of your pelvis area. And then with your right leg, just slowly slide it out a little tiny bit. Does not have to be straight. Just create some length and tension into that right pelvis. Imagine if you had something that was swollen and you were just massaging and milking that swelling away. That's what we're doing right now between our left and our right side. So take a deep inhale into the abdomen area. And then exhaling out. And one more time, nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Gently slide the right foot back in and then bring that right knee to your chest. Repeating it on the opposite side. So keeping the right knee to your chest, just gently, slowly lower the left foot to the floor. Once you get yourself in that position, keeping that right knee to your chest, just gently, slowly slide the left leg down a little bit. Pulling and putting tension into the left side, compressing and pushing fluid inflammation out on the right. Now, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Nice deep inhale into the belly here. And exhaling out. Slow, deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Slide that left foot back in until the foot feels like it's underneath your knee. And then gently lower the right foot down until the foot feels like it's underneath your knee. Now, it's very beneficial to be doing a lot of passive compressing and relaxing into the pelvis area if there's pain here. But this is the only time during class we're going to be doing something very active. We're going to do a nice little bridge here. So in this position, make sure your shoulders are underneath you. Knees are nice and parallel. They're not falling out to the side, playing into some tight hips, right? All I want you to do is take a nice deep inhale in. And as you exhale, harden through your abdominal muscles, squeeze through your glutes. So kind of just firm everything up. Then take an inhale and lift the pelvis as the glutes and hamstrings engage. And as you exhale, pull your knees up and over your toes. Now harden through your abdominals, squeeze through your glutes here. Take a deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, lower the pelvis back on down. Slowly bring the knees back up and into your chest. All right, as those knees are coming up and into that chest, take a nice deep inhale into your belly here. And then exhaling out. Slow, deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Now gently take the knees a little bit away from your chest, far enough that you can take your right ankle and bring it up and over your left knee. So as you get yourself in that position, allow yourself to start to gently pull the left knee into the chest. As you start to pull the left knee into your chest, the right elbow can contact that right thigh and gently begin to push that right knee out to the side. Nice deep inhale into your belly here. And exhaling out. And one more time, deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Slowly push the left knee away from you, uncross the right, and then take the left ankle up and over the right knee. Once you've got yourself there, hands kind of thread around and grab that right thigh. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, start to pull the right knee into the chest. Left elbow contacts that left leg, starting to gently push that left knee out to the side of your body. Take a deep inhale here, all the way to that pelvis, guys, and then exhaling out. Slow, deep inhale in. And exhale out. Wonderful. Gently pull the knees away from you. Uncross the legs. Gently bring the knees back into the chest one last time. Deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Slow, deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. All right, so let's go into one last little version of legs up the wall, but we're going to play with this a little bit differently. So our legs are going to be elevated, but instead of taking our legs just straight up, what I want you to do is see if you can take your feet and take the bottoms of your feet and rest them towards one another. Then as you have your feet resting towards one another, just gently let your knees fall out a little bit to the side. Maybe you can kind of walk on down and grab your shin bones a little bit. Kind of looks like that pose we did when we were in a wide-legged stretch when we were in sitting, but our pelvis is an inversion. So allow yourself in this position to gently take your elbows and rest them to the insides of your knees if you can. Imagine, if you could, what you're trying to do is bring those big toes up and over your head, slowly pushing those elbows out as you pull those ankles inward. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly here. And then exhaling out. And one more time, nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Wonderful. Gently let the ankles move away from you as your knees come towards one another, and the knees gently rest somewhere on top of the hips. Now, we need to get rid of this bolster for now. So what I want you to do is take your hands to the bolster and just lift the hips as the bolster moves away from you. As you roll the bolster down onto your yoga mat, you can use your feet to kick the bolster off and to the side of you. Once you've done that, no longer are you in an inversion, but what you might feel is that feeling through the pelvis is starting to begin to feel a little bit better. So we're going to do one more compression through the right side of our pelvis, one more compression through the left side of our pelvis, and end in a beautiful restorative pose. So in this position, allow yourself to take your right knee to your chest, left leg is straight. Once you have your right knee to your chest, take the right knee and bring it to the midline of your chest. Now, check in that the right pelvis doesn't completely lift off of the yoga mat when you do that. Hold the right knee with the right hand. Take that left hand and slide it down and see if you can get a hold of that right ankle or somewhere near it. Then lengthen your neck, settle your chin, shoulder blades are underneath you. Right pelvis is trying to stay connected to the floor. Left leg is gently straight. Now take a nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, pull the knee towards the chest, but really attempt to pull that right ankle towards that left shoulder. Feel that stretch into your right hip rotators, deep into that buttock. Now take a deep inhale and try to get that breath right to those muscles. And then slowly exhaling out. Deep inhale in. And slowly exhaling out. Then release the left hand from the right knee. Let the leg unrotate. Place the right foot on the floor. Slide the left leg up. Slide the right leg down. Then bring the left knee up towards the chest and begin to bring the knee to the midpoint, feeling that compression more onto the left pelvis area. Hold the left knee with the left hand. Take that right hand and reach in and see if you can grab that left ankle. Now in this position, check in that that pelvis is still in contact with the floor. Shoulder blades are relaxed underneath you and lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Then take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, pull the left knee into the chest and then really pull that left ankle towards that right shoulder. Okay, now in this position, feeling that compression of the belly and the thigh, start to take your attention to deeply where you feel that in the buttock area. And then try to breathe into that. So take a nice deep inhale into that left buttock. Open through those hip rotators. And then as you exhale, relaxing out. And one more time, nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Let the right hand relax off of the left ankle. Bring the left knee back into your chest. Slide the right leg up. Bring the right knee to your chest. All right, both knees are to your chest here. What I want you to do is start to gently rotate and rock yourself. As you're rocking yourself, nice little massaging happening through the low back and buttock muscles. But I want you to massage those muscles 2-3 times, maybe even more if you want to. And then slowly let yourself roll all the way to your left or right side, and then push yourself up into a seated position. Now, we're going to be ending using our bolster for a modification of a spinal twist, but a modification of a spinal twist that is very beneficial for pelvic pain. So what I want you to do is line your bolster up parallel with your yoga mat, then gently bend your knees. Stack your knees on top of one another, your ankles on top of one another. You're at the end of the bolster here. Then slide the bolster down so that you feel that it's touching that right pelvic area. Once you have yourself in that position, slowly begin to take your hands and straddle that bolster. Now, for a lot of us, if we're really tight into rotation, that left knee is just going to fall up and over that right knee. Do what you can. We're not focusing on our low back, but obviously the pelvis and the low back are very intricately related. But just do the best you can at not letting that left knee kind of pop up and over that right knee. Now, with your pelvis and with your rib cage and your shoulders, take a deep inhale, pull forward, and try to line up your collarbones with the yoga bolster. So it's kind of like you're making a perpendicular there. Once you've got that, take a nice deep inhale, pull the chest forward. Then as you exhale, bend your elbows and slowly begin to lower the chest downward onto the bolster. Once you feel like you've got the weight of your chest onto the bolster, gently start to drop your elbows down beside you, lining the elbows up with the shoulders. Now, you can check in the position of those silly little knees, depending on how tight your low back and SI joints are. Once you're in this position, what I want you to do is pick what feels the best for your neck today. So easy pose of this modification of spinal twist would just be to lay your right ear down onto the bolster. The more difficult and full spinal twist would be to turn the head and lay the left ear down onto the bolster. Not really wanting to add that full spinal twist, just gently allow yourself to pick the in-between where the crown of your head lines up and rests onto the bolster. So you kind of pick for you what feels the best for your head. And wherever you've picked today, let yourself just rest there. Now, as you're resting there in that position, what I want you to start paying attention to in this modification of spinal twist is where that right pelvis is touching that bolster. Now, nice and slowly take a deep inhale into that belly, into that bolster, creating a gentle compression and movement of fluid. And then as you exhale, just let that air go. Slow, deep inhale into the belly, into that right pelvis area. And then as you exhale, let that air go. One more time. Nice, deep inhale. And then as you exhale, just let that air go. Now, as you rest here, just normally breathe. And pay attention on every separate inhale. Where do you feel that inhale going? Is it between the shoulder blades? Into the low back? Maybe into the abdomen and pelvis? But just keep your body still and gently pay attention. Where does that breath go to? And now if your head is rotated, slowly unrotate your head. Slide your hands back underneath your shoulders. And gently straighten your elbows and bring yourself up off of your bolster. All right, so let's do it on the opposite side. So at home, you can switch yourself to the opposite side of your yoga mat or just do a 180-degree turn, whichever works the best for you. Then, wherever you are, stack your ankles and your knees. Have the bolster so that it's touching that left pelvic area. And then you're ready to kind of add the upper half of the body. So with the knees, attempting to keep them stacked, try to take the hands and begin to take the hands and straddle the bolster. So as you're straddling the bolster, once again, that right knee is going to come up and over depending on how tight that right low back and SI joint is. So just give yourself some grace. It's about your pelvis today, right? Okay, so in this position, once you've got your collarbones nice and squared up or perpendicular, however you want to look at that, to the bolster, take a deep inhale forward and pull that rib cage forward. Then as you exhale, gently start to lower that chest down onto the bolster. Drop the elbows down so that the elbows are laying perpendicular to your shoulders. Again, feel that you're trying to keep that alignment through those knees. Then your options for your head are the same. Wanting to not go into full spinal twist, you can just gently lay your left ear onto the bolster and keep yourself in that position. Going into the full modification of spinal twist, rotating the head all the way to the left, gently laying the right ear on the bolster. Not even wanting to include the neck, dropping the crown of the head onto the bolster, nose in line with the crown of the head, and just rest yourself here. So just pick for you what feels the most comfortable for today. And then start to pay attention to where that left pelvic area is in contact with that bolster. Now take a deep, slow inhale right into that area. And then exhaling out. Deep, slow inhale in. Exhaling out. And one more time. Deep, slow inhale in. And exhaling out. Now rest yourself where you are. Try to find stillness. And just let your normal breath flow. As you're breathing, just start to pay attention onto the inhale. Where does that breath go to? Do you feel it go between the shoulder blades? Maybe it goes down and into the back or pelvic area. Just normally inhaling and exhaling. Can you keep your focus on where that inhalation goes? Then gently unrotating your neck if your neck is unrotated. Sliding your hands back underneath those shoulders and slowly straightening the elbows as you come up off of the bolster, moving the bolster off to the side of your yoga mat. You're already laying on your side. So just gently let yourself lay down on your side, roll over onto your back. Once you have yourself rolled over onto your back, gently bring your knees to your chest one quick time, one quick breath. Well, no, not a quick breath, a slow breath. Take a deep inhale in and exhaling out. Then dropping the feet down to the mat. And once the feet are down to the mat, slowly allowing yourself to slide your heels down to the corner of the mat. Shoulder blades are rolled underneath you, arms resting out beside you. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Rest your tongue to the roof of the mouth and then gently close your eyes. All right, how does that pelvis feel? Maybe you've got some pain because of a bladder infection, a UTI. Maybe you've recently had surgery, or heck, Maybe that surgery was 30 years ago, but those scars constantly cause you pelvic pain. Maybe you've got an active inflammation from an endometriosis or a prostatitis. Maybe it's just a bad month of your menses. Regardless of the reason, check in with yourself right here. How does it feel? Then slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and do some circles with your wrists and your ankles. So then when you feel like you're ready, start to slide that leg up one at a time, begin bending those elbows, and then gently let yourself once again roll over onto a side. As you roll over onto a side, just rest there for a moment, maybe a breath or two, maybe even a smile. You gave yourself 45 minutes of pure self-care. Then when you're ready, on an exhalation, using the bottom elbow in the top hand, push yourself up into a seated position. Find yourself in easy pose. Once you find yourself in easy pose, gently take your hands to the center of your heart. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and put a smile on your face. Take a deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. Thank you for joining me today.